Hey there, Fight here with a ScreenFlow replay of Amazon Traffic Evolution. Unfortunately, GoToWebinar did not want to play, so we're doing a screen capture version here. So Amazon Traffic Evolution is all about why most of the stuff they teach you about the Amazon affiliate program doesn't work and what to do about it. Alrighty, and if my mouse lets me play, we'll see what the agenda is for this presentation now. So first of all, we'll look at the inherent conflict within Amazon and traffic. So most people, I did a survey and basically most people said, look, you know, if there's one obstacle I could overcome, it would be how to get more traffic to my Amazon site. And I'll show you why there is an inherent conflict that makes it so difficult and why you're probably struggling with it in the first place. Then we do a quick section or segment on the right way of doing traffic, and then the future. Basically beyond Amazon as a better Adsense site. And these last two are really intertwined. You kind of need to build that better model of an Amazon site in order to really make use or utilize that traffic. Alrighty. And then of course there is no Q&A, but this is the original slide because this is a screen capture recording. So who are we? There are two guys behind this whole thing. The first one is me, Dr. Feitschenk. I've been full-time online since 2007. I've done it all, and I've put that in a red asterisk there because I've done it all. I've done the black hat, the grey hat, and the white hat. And now these days I focus primarily on the white hat, mostly on product creation and affiliate marketing, although I'm more and more shifting over to affiliate marketing using paid traffic, simply because it is completely hands-off. Well, not completely hands-off, but it is... all you need to do is focus on the paid traffic and nothing else. The affiliate side then is all taken care of. And my main focus is really email marketing. So use email marketing as the glue that holds it all together. Like I said, the lifeblood of it all is traffic, and that's why we're focusing on traffic in this particular call. And if you don't know me, before I got into online marketing, I was a sales trainer. We had a company training the sales reps for newspapers how to sell advertising space. And I got the sales experience, so I was kind of qualified to teach salespeople how to do selling by being a real life seller. And of course, that's not a word. So I was an insurance salesperson. Learned a lot, didn't necessarily enjoy it because it was part of almost an MLM program. But I learned a lot, so in that sense it was enjoyable. And before all of that, there was a sad corporate story where basically I started in brain research. I worked for Siemens corporate in the research and development department of Siemens Medical, responsible for sort of brain imaging. And unfortunately, before we got bought by Siemens, we were a small startup, and it was brilliant fun, and got stuff done. And then kind of the corporate way of doing things sucked the life out of me, which is why I went online in the first place. Anyway, the other half of this whole thing is Gareth Roberts, who's been full-time online since 2010, and that's officially 4 years, 213 days, and 2.5 hours. Actually, that was before the webinar, so it's about 4.5 hours now. He's an absolute JV king for big name marketers. He's now working with me, glad to have him on board. And I'm kind of mentioning this explicitly because Gareth is a fine example of what online marketing really is about. The real big bucks in online marketing you will make once you realize that online marketing is about human connections, right? A lot of people have this illusion, this dream that is being sold to them, that hey, online marketing, you just sit back, you sit on your sofa, and you drive some traffic and make some cash, and that's totally true. But to really ramp it up, you need to realize that this is all about human connections. It's about people, right? Like everything else in life. So there is unfortunately that whole hey, I just completely isolate myself from the rest of the world, I go hermit style, is very unlikely to give you the biggest results. I'll give you one example. You might be thinking, well, I just do some traffic arbitrage. I buy traffic, drive it to affiliate office. Even there, you may have heard of Mike Geary. Mike Geary is the guy behind The Truth About Ads, multi-million-dollar business. I mean, serious multi-million-dollar business. Has been online for a long time. And this guy drives tons and tons of traffic. He can only afford to drive that cheap traffic at the prices he's getting because he's built all those relationships with the ad managers for the various companies where he buys the ads. If he had to pay full retail, he would be nowhere near as profitable as he is. So Gareth is also a bona fide traffic monster. He can literally crush any launch you like. If there's an internet marketing launch, he can rustle up enough traffic to basically blow up your server. So worth listening to. And although he's not on the call, because this is not a call, it's a screen capture recording, you'll be hearing more from Gareth in the future. So listen to what he's got to say. So anyway, I've got a question for you then. Obviously, it's not interactive, so you contemplate this for yourself. Why Amazon? Why did you get into Amazon in the first place? Now, I'm only guessing, but a lot of people will say, well, it's because you've got those high conversions. Okay, once you've got someone who clicks on your whatever you've got on your site, and they're very likely to buy on Amazon, and simply because Amazon has that great trust factor. And of course, there's always that possibility of the odd huge shopping basket where you send them to Amazon to buy whatever, a pencil, then they buy a diamond ring, and then you get the commission for the diamond ring. But unfortunately, that's not very often. But it does happen. I mean, when I look at my own stats, and by the way, I don't do masses of Amazon. I kind of use it as a supplement on the side, just like I did with Adsense. Although, when I said earlier, I've done it all. I used to do Adsense as the main thing. I had tons and tons of sites. And it was nice getting those checks from Amazon. But of course, all the SEO goodness came to an end at some point. So that was the end of that. Anyway, with my Amazon accounts, I do see that there are quite a few purchases. But I've never had anyone buy a yacht or a diamond ring or something like that. Anyway, however, my take, and this is based on personal experience and talking to a lot of people, the cons, in a way, outweigh the pros, in my opinion. There's a very low payout. You're getting your 4% starting level, and then you go up to 6 point something, depending where you are and how many items you sell. But all in all, it's not really, I don't know, it's pizza money, but not really that much more. You only have that bloody one-day cookie. I mean, that's a joke. All good affiliate programs should pay you 30 days, but these guys are so stingy, they only give you a one-day cookie. I think that's just plain rude. There's, of course, the slow payout, but, I guess most affiliate programs have a 30-day payout, so fair enough. And after a while, it kind of rolls over. That's okay then. One of the bigger ones for me is that you're building Amazon's list and not your own. And that is a typical problem that a lot of affiliate marketers who come off, a lot of people who come online and they sort of they're being sold the affiliate marketing dream. They overlook this one hugely important factor, if you like, that you're building someone else's list and not your own. And when you have no list, you have no repeat buyers. You're just sending some traffic from somewhere to somewhere else. So basically, it's traffic arbitrage. You buy traffic, you have an offer, you send it over there, and that's the end of it. You get paid once, and maybe it's profitable, but the moment you stop driving the traffic, that's the end of your business. Whereas if you build a list in the meantime, well, there you have a massive business asset you can leverage over and over again. So, but much worse than all of these things, if that's not bad enough, is basically what I referred to earlier as the inherent conflict. And that is this, okay? The way it is set up, with the low commissions, with the one-day cookie, with all that kind of stuff, it is virtually impossible to pay for Amazon traffic. And I kind of highlighted the pay, okay? So, the consequence of all of this is that you must rely on free traffic. And if you have a made-for-Amazon site, as in the portal site, that is hardly a good proposition. And we'll get into that in a second. So, you have to rely on free traffic, and if you've got a site that is specifically made for, let's say it's an Amazon review site, you now have to drive very specific free traffic to just this particular site. And that traffic is typically not very scalable, nor is it very reliable. And we'll look at SEO in a second, okay? So all in all, this is, in my opinion, the worst possible business model. And unfortunately, it's one that's adopted by 95% of all offline businesses. Most offline businesses, and I know this through doing tons and tons of consulting with offline businesses, is when you ask them, what are your ideal clients? Where do you get your clients from? They all go, well, it's word of mouth and it's free traffic. And it is because they hardly ever have a solid business model where they actually plan to pay for the traffic, to pay for ads. And this all comes out, when we did the training for the sales reps for newspapers. We used to go into stores, into shops, into businesses, and basically see what they are doing. And in general, that is the answer. We can't afford to pay for ads. We have to rely on free traffic. And you know what the statistics are. 9 out of 10 businesses, if it's a solopreneur, which is the typical business or small business, they go out of business in the first 10 years. And the number goes slightly down. It goes to 6 out of 10 if you have someone who's employing other people. But in general, it's terrible. And it is because they're relying on free traffic. And the same applies to online. If you are relying on free traffic, you are basically at the mercy of so many other factors you can't control. It's never the thing where you want to go, where you can go to bed knowing next day everything's going to be fine. So the reality of all of this is that basically, in my opinion, the standard Amazon setup, namely here's my review site, here's my whatever comparison site, is just another AdSense. And if it's made for AdSense, if you have a site which is specifically made for, or not under AdSense, for Amazon, as in a review site built around the Amazon review model or the affiliate program, then you are basically doing traffic arbitrage of the very worst kind. You're paying for traffic, either in money or in kind, in time or in energy, and you're getting such a low payoff. The only exception, and to highlight what I mean by made for AdSense, okay, here's an opportunity for you, by the way, charity sites. So if you've got a charity, they have natural traffic. They've got people coming to the site, and they've got some content there for their members. If they put an Amazon link on there, the Amazon link to the homepage, that's all you need, and you say, hey, by the way, if you'd like to support our charity, when you do your Christmas shopping, when you do any shopping of any kind, just use this link when you buy from Amazon. It's not going to cost you anything extra, but we get a small percentage. We get like 4% or so, and that way you're supporting your favorite charity. Now that's awesome. It's awesome for the charity. It's easy for the donors, if you like, to use that link. But it highlights what the difference is between a made for I keep saying made for AdSense, made for Amazon site, a portal site, and a real site. Okay, charity site is a real site. They have real traffic, and the Amazon monetization is on the side. It's an additional bonus, if you like. It's not made for specifically this. So for them, it's not really a problem getting traffic to the site. For the MFA sites, it is hard to make it work. So the reality is you basically need an empire of ASON sites to make it work. And there's the minus PO1 factor. So keep that in mind. PO1, we'll get back to that in a second, okay? And I've been there. I've done that, okay? I've had hundreds of sites. And there's one problem with that, basically overwhelm, okay? That's the first big problem. So suddenly, everyone keeps telling me, just imagine having 100 sites that make you $1 a day. And I did have those things, and some even made $5 a day, and some even made $10 a day. It was beautiful with both Amazon and mostly AdSense, actually. The problem is, you can totally imagine building out one site, setting up one site, and you try it out, and a few obstacles, and you're all okay because after a while you overcome those obstacles. But when you then need to build and manage 100 of those, that is complete overwhelm. And the reason is that basically the skill set required for that is no longer that of setting up a site. It's that of managing a huge network of sites. So it's a totally different skill set, and it quickly leads to overwhelm. So, probably sounds familiar to most people who've looked at this whole thing. With one site, you don't make enough to, well, you make enough to eat some pizza, but really to make a full-time income, for the vast majority of people, you need to build an empire, and that leads to overwhelm. So, Now, let's look at traffic then. What are the big problems with traffic? The first one is SEO. Okay, so the SEO for portal sites is pretty much by definition black hat, because if you have got a portal site which has, by portal site I mean basically a very simple site that has virtually no content apart from here, click my Amazon link, right? Traffic comes in, you click through, and thank you very much. Now, that is not a site you would share with your friends. You wouldn't go, oh, this is an awesome site. And as a result, the only way to do SEO for this is basically to do black hat stuff, grey hat stuff. And as a result, you're always in danger of getting slapped. And once again, I've been there. I've done that. I've had sites, my favorite ones are, what was it? Facialhyperhidrosis.net. Okay, I no longer have it. Maybe, you know, someone else bought the domain. And it was a beautiful ClickBank product, and it made me money. It was beautiful. Every day there was, you know, someone else who basically bought something about facial hyperhidrosis. But of course, all of this was done with back then with forum signature backlinks and all that kind of crap, fully automated, absolutely zero value. And then Google came along and slapped that kind of thing. Big lesson I learned from there. Do not stick all your dodgy sites into one webmaster account, because Google then goes through the entire webmaster account and slaps all your sites. Big lesson learned. So when you do SEO, keep that in mind. Set up separate webmaster accounts through different IPs using different Gmail accounts. Please do yourself that favor. Alrighty. So SEO is also a lot more time and effort than they tell you. All right. So if you are starting to faff around with spinnable content just to get some content up there, and you know, or you go outsource content, describing just all of this crap you're not really passionate about. I mean, trust me, I'm not very passionate about facial hyperhidrosis. You know, that's one thing. But the other thing is, like, deep down, you really know it's crap, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Sorry for the language, but it is shit. When you're playing around with spinnable content, etc. It's just like, really? That's how I'm going to make my money? So that's one of the reasons kind of why I went away from all of that kind of thing. But more than that is that this type of SEO, you know, artificial backlinks, all that kind of stuff, doesn't really correlate with human traffic. And it's one of the big factors Google and the other search engines are looking at. They're looking at, is there actually a correlation between, you know, the backlink I'm getting and people going through that? I mean, real human visitors going through that link and visiting my site. They can track all of this kind of stuff. And when they see, look, there's a link on this site and people actually click on it and they end up on your site and they spend time on your site, they know, aha, this is a really valuable link. Whereas if it's something that's in a signature somewhere, you know, on a fake blog on some edu domain, and no one ever actually sees that thing and clicks on it, they go, well, you know what, that doesn't seem to be so relevant. And that's why, in general, SEO isn't actually such a great idea. But more important than that is, and this is where most people go absolutely wrong with SEO, SEO always comes after the fact. It comes after you knowing what is a true buying keyword. Right? I've known this when I got started. I knew that intellectually because, you know, someone told me, and I never did it, and I could kick myself in the butt to this day for not doing it earlier. You must go and test a keyword in some way, shape, or form before you do any SEO. Like I said a couple of points above, okay? SEO requires time and effort and or money to do properly, right? So if you do it, you might as well do it for keywords where you know it's going to convert. Most people go, well, it kind of makes sense that people would buy a guinea pig. So if I optimize for guinea pig, they'll buy a guinea pig. Well, let me ask you this. Which of these would you say is a buying keyword, guinea pig or guinea pigs? All right. Turns out there is a huge difference, enormous difference. Now, I'm not that interested in guinea pigs, although my daughter is, and I keep telling her, it's like, unless they're edible, they're not coming in the house. Anyway, guinea pig or guinea pigs. One of them is a general, I'm interested in guinea pigs, for example, and the other one is by people who want to buy one or have one, and they've got very specific questions around the guinea pig. I think that's the way around it is. Okay, guinea pig is someone who has genuine queries, questions, concerns, and they want to find a solution. Whereas guinea pigs is someone who just, you know, wants to browse general information. Now, are guinea pigs better than German shepherds as a pet, for example? But looking at the keyword, you would never guess that. All right. So let's look at then an alternative to SEO. So if you say, all right, Veit, thank you very much, I'm not going to do SEO. That seems like a bit too much work. I'm going to do the other form of getting free traffic, forum marketing, or Yahoo Answers, or any of these things. Basically, all these techniques people tell you about, which all basically amount to spamming at the end of the day. So we already know that basically portal sites are out. Okay, from a user perspective, would you tell your friends about this particular site? This is, by the way, this is no offense. The examples I'm showing you now are all from Azon Commission King customers. I've seen tons and tons of sites over the last few days. People show me their sites. Thank you very much. I'm happy to give you feedback on your sites, but also I'm quite open about my feedback. So if you have something like this, personally, would you, if the entire site consists of this, a huge listing of watches, why would I click on here? It's like, why? There's absolutely no incentive. There's no value added. I wouldn't tell my friends about this. I wouldn't even click on anything of this. There's just like no help getting through the whole selection in here. I mean, this is just a tiny part of the whole thing, all right? So portal sites really are not a great way of doing this, but I'm highlighting this because a lot of people go, well, what I do is I post on forums and then leave a link back to my site and say, hey, check out my site for special offers on watches. And when you get to this kind of thing, you go, oh man, that's crap. There's no real value added here. So if we don't do like portal sites, what's left? Well, how about review sites? They add a bit of value by putting this kind of stuff together. Look, here's a planetary stand mixer. And then you read through the text and you go, yeah, it's okay. Possibly written in Asia, possibly not, but hey. And then it's like all this stuff being mentioned here, and it's like, oh, I'm not quite sure. Again, would you tell your friends about this? This all goes back to, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of SEO when done right. SEO is beautiful. Free traffic, I'll take it all day long. But it has to be converting traffic, and it has to be self-sustaining. Okay, there is the whole thing, this notion of link velocity. If you've got no links and suddenly a ton of links, or you've got a ton of links and then you stop linking, that is a signal to Google, right? Something dodgy is going on. Now, my question to you is, do you want to spend the rest of your life building links on a regular basis to crappy sites just to make sure you don't have that big huge red flag for Google that says, hey, someone stopped building links and therefore go and dump this site? No, it's just like, no, that's not what life is about. Okay, so you want to have something where there's a natural build up of links over time. So once again, would you tell your friends about this? And in most cases, it's not really, unless it's a really good review site, right? And how about comparison sites then here? And these are all real examples, stuff people have sent me. So the first one is comparing, I think, oh yeah, the first one is stand mixers or something like that. Okay, prices, and okay, fair enough. And the second one here is some food. Okay, so the last one here was a general food site. So the idea behind it, I do like and admire the site. Hey, I've got a great site for food in general because Amazon sell food. And one of the products on there, and this is basically occupying the whole front page in a really boring design. I've kind of cut out the middle bit. There's the default Amazon sidebar in there, and then you've got this thing in the middle. And there's no real comparison, okay? They both contain sugar, and it's like, yeah, why would I... Now, once again, would I tell my friends about this? No. Alrighty, so, with all of these, that's not all. It gets worse. Okay, so we already know that these types of sites attract no human traffic, and therefore we have a low SEO factor, simply because you do not share this stuff with your friends. You're also getting a low ROI from Amazon. So even if you build out a site like that, you're getting whatever. Look here, these things, they cost whatever, $2 for the 2-pack. 4 cents, 8 cents commission. You have to sell a lot of those chocolate bars to actually make some money, right? And the end result of all this is that basically you have no time to spend on quality content. once again, I highlight this in red because I've been there, right? I've dumped hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on both spinnable content and outsourced content, both on Odesk, on, what's the other one? The Elance, various sites that produce content. I don't know what they're called. I've already forgotten, iWriter or whatever. On the various forums, classified ads, content writers. And typically you go, well, I'm paying you $3 for a 500-word article. Because, well, there is such a low ROI from Amazon, I can't really spend any money on quality content. And really, for 8 cents for my 2 chocolate bars, I'm not going to spend 2 hours writing a great review how wonderful this thing is. So there must be something better, right? So you can't hire those cheap, or you end up hiring cheap outsourcers so you get the low quality, or even worse, you basically do auto blogging and then you get rubbish quality, which leads to the good old slap alert, Google going, hang on, this, we just don't like this kind of stuff. So that was a lot of bad news, wasn't it? So here's my question then, here's my statement, if you like. If you want to do that right and get people to trust you and your recommendations so they click on your links, if you want them to know, like, and trust you, then we need to do something else. And that's basically part 2 of this presentation. So basically, the answer is you have to build an, drum roll, authority site. And if you're now thinking, no, fine, I don't want to build an authority site, or no, man, that is obvious. Don't worry, okay? I'm just giving you the authority site as a concept, as a conceptual construct, something we can now say this is better than a review site, this is better than a comparison site, this is better than a, basically a portal where I say come in and click my link. So an authority site would be something where you are the authority and people follow you and go, I trust your experience, I like you, and I really, want to follow your recommendation. So basically, when you have an authority site, it fixes these problems. Well, first of all, SEO is much easier. And it's natural, okay? You get links. You don't have to buy links. You get links. And there's human traffic, so those links actually count for something. The trust obviously goes up because people trust experts and authorities. I'll give you one example, a real-world example, all right? So a few years ago, we moved over from Britain to Germany. And in Britain, you cannot survive without toast. I mean, air, love, toast. That's about it, okay? So toast is best made with a toaster. So we have a toaster. Now we've got 4 kids and, the occasional young kids at that. So the occasional pen finds their way into the toaster. So up in flame goes another toaster. All right, time to buy a new toaster. And of course, oh God, what do we do now? We need a toaster quick because otherwise, we all know what happens when you don't have toast. 4 dead killed kids, not good. So off to local store. Hey, I want a toaster. And they've got this selection of like 25 different models. I'm going, oh, dude, I'm totally overwhelmed. So, go to the salesperson and he goes, right, and he starts asking questions. So, hey, what do you need it for? What do you want? I'm going, look, 4 kids, air, love, toast. And he goes, man, you need this toaster here over here. It's like the second cheapest, but this really is a workhorse of toaster. And I'm going, man, you're selling me the second cheapest? And he goes, yeah. All the other ones look really fancy, but if you want to make tons and tons of toast, this is the one. Okay, so I buy the second cheapest. Guess what? Since then, we have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars or euros at that store because I trust the guy. Like, he didn't sell me the most expensive and shiny thing. He went, look, this is the one. So trust is so super important. Goes back to what I said in the beginning, Gareth, this is unbelievably high, or to a high degree, all about human relationships. It's not about, hey, look, statistics. A lot of people tell you, look, there's a huge element of basically statistically speaking, X% of people are going to buy. Absolutely true. But if you can introduce the human element, if you are that person who adds that human element to it, you will outdo absolutely anybody else who's just doing plain traffic arbitrage. So, and of course, there is the good old PO1. Remember PO1 earlier? So let me explain to you what PO1 is. Now, this gentleman here is none other than Drayton Bird. Drayton Bird is probably the #1 living copywriter in the world, or direct response marketer in the world. His CV reads like the who's who of direct response marketing. Go search him out, and what I'm going to do, there you go, that's his name, all right, Drayton Bird. Written some fantastic books. Go check him out on Amazon. I've read them all, absolutely fabulous. I've had the pleasure of talking to Drayton. We've had an interview. I've actually talked to him on a number of occasions since. And when I asked him, Drayton, what is the big secret to making money online with direct response marketing? He said, the answer is very simplified. You just don't know. Your market will tell you. There is absolutely no way of knowing how people are going to respond to a particular offer, right? If the offer is at all the right one for your audience, or if the right audience is the right one for your offer. There's no way of knowing. Even with his experience, there's absolutely no way of knowing. You need to go and test, and your market will tell you, basically in the form of test results. Now, that means the only way to succeed online, or marketing in general, is to test your way to success. Because you just don't know. There is absolutely zero way of knowing up front. Now, you might be asking, what's the connection here? Power of one, test my way to success? Well, very simple, right? If you want to try to test and optimize an empire of sites, you're lost. Forget it, okay? I've tried it. I've tried it myself. I had hundreds of Adsense sites, and trying to put the right offer in front of the right visitor for the right keyword in hundreds of sites, forget it. It's instant overwhelm. There's absolutely no way you can do it. It's impossible, right? Whereas if you have one site, if you PO1 is the power of one. If you take one site, you focus on one keyword today, and you focus on the one type of visitor and the one offer, and then you start optimizing that one mini sales funnel, if you like. Consider it a mini sales funnel. If you optimize just that one thing, and optimization is as simple as saying, I'm trying 2 different offers, and I'm alternating visitors see one of the 2 offers, and I will simply take the one that converts better. Or I add a human element as a test to the site. I might have one with a cartoon character and one with a smiley picture of me, or maybe a third of me with a welcome video, something like that, and you will quickly see what message, what offer your audience resonates better with. And that is how you test and optimize a single site. The power of one. I see this so often that people go out, oh, I can totally see how I can make $1 with one site. So if only I have 100 sites, I'll make $100 a day. I can guarantee 99.999% of all people who attempt that will fail. I've been there, and when I was fairly advanced, like I've been doing this for over 7 years, full time, earning a full time, very good income. I've tried it with several years of experience, and I failed. I couldn't do it. They were all subpar. They were all suboptimal. They were all like, yeah, okay, they're making some money. They're working $1, $2, $10 a day. But I will never know if they could have done maybe $100 a day, $1,000 a day. I don't know, because I just didn't have the bandwidth for managing all this kind of stuff. So let's look at then how to go beyond better AdSense. So the idea of this entire call was to first of all show you why there is such a, not why you're struggling, probably, because there's such a huge amount of misinformation out there. People telling you need to build an empire. Hey, you just need to optimize this for your keyword, and then the traffic will come and you'll make money, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Reality is, it's not that easy. It's very, very hard to get free traffic to work on something like this. It's virtually impossible to get paid traffic to work on Amazon sites. Most people tell you, write a review site. I've been there, I've done that. Do a comparison site. I've been there, I've done that. Do a portal site. I've been there, I've done that. And it's extremely hard to make those work. And then they say, well, well, obviously you can't expect that much money from one site, so build 1,000. And once again, or build 100. Again, forget about that concept. So let's look at beyond better AdSense, because that's really what in the standard model that's being taught, what Amazon affiliate program is. It's just a better AdSense. Remember the charity thing I told you about? That is a good application of the Amazon Associated program. You have traffic to your site and you add Amazon on top of that. But you don't build a made for Amazon site. If you're following the model, build for Amazon, and unfortunately that's what's being taught in the marketplace, you're in trouble. So we need to get to a better place. So really your only job as a marketer, and this is based on 7 years of personal experience doing this stuff every single day, is to design profitable sales funnels. Okay, one where you put $1 in and you get $2 out. And that dollar can come in different forms, either in paid traffic or in investment in SEO or whatever you're doing. But you need to design, test, and optimize your profitable sales funnels. And what I say design is basically you over time tweak them and improve them, make them better and better until they are profitable and then super profitable. If you master this, and when you master this, you control your destiny. And the beauty is absolutely everyone can test their way to success, right? There are a few tricks to this whole thing, because most people try 20 variations of exactly the same thing and wonder why they're not moving forward. But in general, absolutely everyone can move forward and get this to work, right? But unfortunately, the only way, or fortunately in my opinion, the only way to do this is the power of one. You must focus on one site, one mini sales funnel in that site, and optimize it. And once it's working, once it's profitable, then you look at a different aspect of your different site, of that site. You could look at a different traffic source. You could look at a different keyword. You could look at a different silo within that site, a different way of generating traffic and or conversions, whatever. But you must focus on one aspect at a time and then move forward. There's also a huge psychological reason behind this. If you've ever been on a diet, okay, you've tried to lose weight, or you maybe know someone who loses weight, okay, in the good old days it was calorie counting, and then good old Weight Watchers days, and then all these different programs come along that go, no, you don't need to, you can throw out the scales, you don't need to count the calories, because all you're going to eat is fat and protein and no more carbs, and because all kinds of magic happens, you're going to be fine. There's a huge problem with that, and that is when you throw out the scales, you don't see progress, right? For most people, when you lose fat, you don't immediately see it. Initially, I don't know, the density of the fat reduces or whatever, but basically your size stays the same. You don't really see any progress. Where you do see progress is on the scales, and that's how you measure progress. Human psychology is you want to see small increments of progress. You want to see, something is working. Something is working. Excellent. I'm more motivated, okay? You look in the mirror and go, yes, excellent. I can see a little bit more definition of my six-pack or whatever. I'm mentioning this specifically because if you've been following me or hanging out with me for a little while, you know that in May, June this year, I was on a mission to get a six-pack, okay? I'm 43 years old, soon to be 44, and I've never had a six-pack in my life. I've had, good muscles, but the lower part has always been like this bulge, and the myth in the family is, it's genetic and there's nothing you can do about it. I thought, screw it. I want a six-pack. And of course, this summer I broke my elbow, so that there's been a setback in this whole plan. But I'm back on track. The six-pack plan is happening, and I'm aiming for early next year when everyone is going, yay! Now is New Year's resolutions. I want to have my six-pack. Alright. Anyway, how do I track progress? I look in the mirror in the mornings. I step on the scales and go, awesome. This is great. I'm moving forward. I'm moving towards six-pack, and it's a huge psychological boost. For example, if you're tired, you just think, all right, man, look, tomorrow I want to, beat my weight from today by another, 3 ounces. Cool. So I'm now not giving in to temptation to eat that bar of chocolate. Whereas if you have none of these progress things, it's very, very hard to stay motivated. And that, in a coconut shell, a rather large shell, is basically the power of one. When you focus on one aspect of your funnel, and you see, right, today I had, through this part of the funnel I had 3 signups, and this part of the funnel I had 17 signups. You go, oh man, that is a huge improvement. Let's do more of that. Whereas if you have 100 sites and you go, right, let's see what happens. and you see a trickle here, a trickle there, and you have absolutely no idea if it's actually working or not working. That is totally demotivating, and that contributes to that overwhelm. Alright, anyway. With all of this, you might be thinking, and I hope you are thinking, dude, I want to make affiliate commissions. I don't want to build an authority site, right? Personally, my personality type is absolutely, I'm totally fine having an authority site. I have online rule, although I'm kind of moving away from that. I'm building another one where I'm at the center of, if you like, that whole marketing thing. But you may well, and I guess most people come into internet marketing because they do not want to be like the salesperson, right? So you want to make affiliate commissions, but not build an authority site. Well, so my question to you is, what about a model that doesn't involve authority sites? Would you like that? Well, my guess is yes, right? And if it were much quicker than building an authority site, where you can test a market in a day, and where you get to profit, within a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month at most. Whereas with an authority site, think about building an authority site. Oh, authority site requires hundreds of pages of content. It needs good monetization. Now we're already talking like, how do I do power of one with an authority site when I build one from scratch? Like, I've got hundreds of pages. Oh, how do I optimize all of those? That's already like an empire of little pages within the site. Very, very difficult. So how about something where you can optimize it, do that power of one thing very, very quickly and get to profit? Something that's much more controllable than an authority site, because you don't know what's happening with an authority site. If people are going to like it, well, maybe someone's going to diss you in public forums. And also where you build a list so you can promote other stuff and you have the customer, not Amazon. And remember earlier, in my opinion, the Amazon affiliate program, when done in the form of made for Amazon affiliate program, is basically traffic arbitrage at its worst. Because you're not building your own business, you're building Amazon's business. So how about something where you have the customer, not Amazon? Well, there's a little hint here. It's basically when it's an authority, but not an authority site. So remove the whole site and let's talk about authority. However, no worries, without having to be the authority or even be visible. Okay, so when I say you don't have to be an authority, I mean you don't have to be an expert, nor do you have to be the person at the center of attention. So let's say you wanted to have to be on an authority in the facial hyperhidrosis, and by the way, I do not recommend going in that market. There's so many reasons why you shouldn't. In that market, you don't have to put your own face on it, nor do you have to be an expert in, facial hyperhidrosis. So it's all about basically authority without the site. And when you've got that, you can do things like this. So I'm giving you a couple of, if you've ever done any ads in Facebook, these are screenshots from Facebook. So here I've got a promo where I've got 914 conversions at a cost of per conversion of $6.62. You might be thinking, whoa, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. However, I also made over $30 per conversion in profit. Not bad, hey? Oh, 35, there you go. Or how about building a list very, very quickly, okay, at a 49% conversion rate, or opt-in rate in this case. Or this, earlier I said, well, you test and tweak your way to success. Well, what you can see here is at the top, 216 conversions at $14.44 per conversion, and at the bottom, 216 conversions at 68 cents. Not bad, eh? Now, this is not all due to optimization. However, it plays part in it, and I'll come back to the screenshot in a minute. By the way, the fact that it's 216 each is pure coincidence. It couldn't have been better, but there you go. So, or of course this here, this is one of my affiliate accounts, and as you can see, from the 1st of January 2014 to the 16th when I took this screenshot, $77,789.85 in affiliate commissions. And what you see in the middle row there, the 9,496, that's recurring. I'm getting good money every month without having to do anything for it. So let's look at then the authority minus the guru hassle recipe, how to do this step by step. And this is now finally, we're in the core part, how to put this into practice. This is the bit where you now start building out your own system and start driving traffic in a profitable way. Oh, there you go. The ultimate list building machine. This is what it's all about. By the way, I kind of mentioned this a number of times before. Your biggest business asset is the list. Well, some people say it's the relationship you have with the list, because there's no point having a list if no one reads your emails, etc., etc. But let's assume for the time being you have a good relationship, people trust you, and you provide real value to your list, and you get compensated fairly and accordingly to the value you provide to the list. The value truly is in the list, and to this day, second kick in own backside is, why didn't I start building a list much earlier? Okay, it took me about 3 years. And in a way I was unlucky, because my first affiliate sale was a direct linking from a hub page with a fake, no, it wasn't a fake review, it was actually a real review, but you know, it was all kind of fakeness in there, and I'm embarrassed to this day of having done. But like I said, you know, I've done it all and I've learned my lessons. For a $2,000 product, and I got paid 33%, so $660 something in affiliate commission. And I thought, this is brilliant, I don't need to build a list. And then basically for 3 years, I performed at a suboptimal level because I didn't have a list. I was doing that stupid traffic arbitrage thing, which is kind of why I'm so anti-traffic arbitrage. And I'm all for building a list. Alrighty, so step number 1. You need to have absolute clarity on the objective you've got here. And I showed you screenshots from Amazon, and there's a very specific reason why I'm showing you both from Facebook, sorry, and Facebook screenshots and this clarity on objective, okay? If you can't answer this question, what is the purpose of the ad, the funnel, the campaign, or the business? You know, whatever you're looking at the moment, what aspect of your business, you need to have absolute clarity on the objective, what you're trying to achieve. If you don't, your message is very likely to be suboptimal. I'll give you an example, okay? A lot of people basically use a blanket message on Facebook. Hey, I want to sell some cool stuff. And, you know, your news feed is going to be littered with ads these days. Buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Now, here's a big difference, okay? If you want to sell something, then sell to people who already know, like, and trust you. And then by all means, pull out all the stops, you know, go and sell as hard as you can. But if you don't want to sell because people don't know you yet, and then in that case you should not sell them, you should basically start a genuine conversation as opposed to selling them, then your objective of your campaign has to be very, very different. However, most people get this wrong, and they go in, hey, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. So with this as a background, okay, be upfront, be very clear what it is you want to achieve. You then do step number 2, and that is basically you do your market research. And you don't need to, I know everyone hates market research, okay? Because it is bloody difficult. Now, I tell you what, here is why market research is bloody difficult. Because people go, well, you go to Amazon and you read reviews, and you go to forums and you see what people are saying and blah, 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 blah. You write it down, you create your avatar, and Bob's your uncle. And you go, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea how to list these fears and frustrations and desires you're talking of, and I don't know how to put them all together. All right? Here's the truth. Basically, you need a rough idea of what it is you're trying to achieve, and rough idea what your market is about. And then you say, Drayton has told me, or Fight has told me about Drayton, that the only way to really figure out what's going on is to test. Okay, so you take the stuff you get from your market research, you scroll it on a piece of paper and you go, look, you know what, I'm going to test this idea and this idea and this idea, and the market is going to tell me. Because I tell you this, I bought Product Launch Formula many years ago, and the first module is all about market research and avatars and blah blah blah. And there I was like making up this shit. It's like, all right, the biggest fears are, and I had no idea how to make it up, right? And as a result, my results were like, yeah, whatever. And then I was lucky enough to talk to Drayton, and I went, okay, I don't care. Like I was so stressed about getting this right. First of all, it took me forever to get stuff out. It's like, let me procrastinate, let me be perfectionist about this and do some more market research. Finally got something out, and it's like, oh, is it going to be right? Are they going to like it? Blah blah blah. Who cares? No one cares, right? As Drayton says, the only way to really figure out what's going on is go put stuff out, and thank you very much. The market is going to tell you. And there's nothing personal. There's no rejection in there. If they don't like your ad, it was not a good traffic to offer match. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Let's try something else. Right. To help you with this, you don't really need to venture that far. You have got all the data in Facebook. You've got Facebook search. So, at the top in the bar, you go, people who like X and also like what? Graph search is so incredibly powerful. You can really pinpoint what people are into. And of course, you've got Facebook audience insights and the ads manager. So just to give you an example, right? So here I've got, if you look on the left-hand side, additional interest, people are interested in candle making. So it turns out these people are less exclusively, if you now look at the bottom sort of middle, the bottom red square, right? These are above average desktop and mobile users. So they use both more than the average population. But also, if you look at the right-hand side, they click about 12 ads on average. That's fine. So people who are interested in candle making are sort of a mixed platform users, and they click a lot of ads. Click about 12 ads. Now, look at this here. Bass fishing, additional interest on the left. Look at the bottom there. Minus 57% desktop users. Okay, so these are much, much more likely to use mobile phones. I guess they're out at the river and trying to catch dinner. And look at this here, 24 ads. So this is an audience I need to target in a very, very different way from this audience. If I talk to candle makers, I know, well, they're less likely to click on my ads, but they're more likely to comment on my things. They're more likely to like my pages, more likely to like my posts. Whereas these guys here are less interactive, far less interactive. They leave far fewer comments, but they're more likely to click ads. Now that is very, very useful information. I mean, there's so much information in Facebook Insights. Basically all the information you need is right there. Alrighty, so step number one was get clarity on what you're trying to achieve, at what point in the relationship cycle you are with your prospects. Step number two is figure out roughly, just roughly, what it is you'd like to test, not really what the market research is. There's no such thing as is, okay? All you do in step number two is basically figure out all the things you're going to test, and then you're going to get feedback from the market. Step number three, you basically do a like campaign. And ideally you do to people who tend to like pages and posts, okay? The reason you do this is basically you get a micro commitment. Think about it. The mindset on Facebook is not, hey, I want to buy some stuff. It's, hey, I want to figure out, oh, I want to see a funny video. I want to see what other people are up to, look at baby pictures, share a picture of my muesli, that kind of stuff. Alrighty. Micro commitment is all about the commitment and consistency principle. So if you once have committed to liking something once, you're more likely to like it again and do something else. You're basically saying, hey, I like candle making. And then if you get another ad that says, or get an ad that says, hey, if you like candle making, you may like this free report on, whatever, have Christmas candles. There you go. You're now more likely to follow through. The other beauty of this is you don't have to need a funnel in place. Most people, and don't get me wrong, it's like, I've done all of this stuff and I see a lot of people do it now. And, I'm even now after 7 years, over 7 years of doing this, there are days where I am so frustrated with bloody tech hurdles. Just today, you're watching this replay because GoToWebinar didn't play, right? Just out of the blue, it didn't want to play. It's frustrating. So if you had to put an entire funnel in place, and for example, earlier this year there was a great product by Todd Brown, 6-Figure Funnels, I think it was called. A beautiful product, but for most newbies or anyone who's new to internet marketing, it's a complete overwhelm. There's so many moving pieces. It's too much, and that's why it's so easy to do a little like campaign. You don't have to have a funnel in place. You just do an easy test, and some niches respond like mad, and you go, that's good to know. Others will not respond, and I've just shown you 2 examples, right? The bass fishing people, there are grumpy old men who tend to click on ads. They're not going to be very excited about liking a picture of your latest fish. Well, maybe that, but not something else. Whereas the candle people, hey, if you put a picture of a lovely candle in front of them, they're going to like it. you can figure that out interactively. Once again, there's no such thing as the truth is, it's just something you test. And by having this like campaign for just a couple of dollars a day, you very, very quickly get your results. Also, it's social proof, and I'm going to show you in a second why that is so important, all right? And also, there's something called lookalike audiences, where basically you say, look, here are the people who already liked my thing, and there's a beautiful step on top of that, which I'll share with you in a second. I want similar people who have similar patterns, who, like when you think about the insights thing earlier, who basically also click on ads or also comment on posts or pages and that kind of stuff, right? Overall, the overall objective here is to warm them up. Most people get this wrong. They go into Facebook and go, look, buy my stuff. Well, no, it doesn't work that way, okay? This is a social environment. You want to warm them up so they convince themselves that you are trustworthy. That's what this whole thing is about. That you will not sell them the most expensive toaster because you get a bigger commission. So this is basically the typical review site, all right? Would you recommend the average review, fake review site, the average comparison site? Would you recommend them to your friends? No, you wouldn't, because in most cases you don't trust them. And the same goes, here. You need to get to the point where they trust you, so they can convince themselves you are trustworthy, and therefore you should be recommended to friends and be trusted for buying decisions. So here's an example of that social proof, okay? If you've got an ad later on where, 48 other of my friends like that thing, I'm much more likely. That stands out to me. Like, I know those names. I know Lee. I know Amanda. I'm going, oh, they like Udemy? I must go check it out. Alright, step number 4 then. So, step number 3, very, very simple. Do a like campaign. Thank you very much. That's it. And that you can execute in a day or 2. So, step number 4, the lead magnet, okay? You have to remember, and I'll show you the most beautiful, simple solution to the lead magnet. Everyone knows, lead magnet is, well, not everyone, maybe you don't know. So lead magnet is where basically you give them something for free in exchange for your email address or for their email address. So you can now follow up with their email address. Email address, yes, business asset, our ability to follow up. So in most cases, your stuff, the thing you want to sell, is not on their minds when they go on Facebook. I'll give you a very quick example, okay? You've probably heard me say this before if you've been around me for a little while. I did some work with a plumber a few years ago, and he tried various ads before he came to me, and basically he couldn't compete with another plumber in town. And basically he had specialized in gas boilers. So he was selling these gas boilers through newspaper ads. And he tried everything, adding all kinds of bonuses, doing special deals, money off, free warranty for hundreds of years, whatever. None of it worked. So we started working on it, and initially, because I didn't know anything about the target audience, we wanted to do some tests, and he wanted to be exclusive to newspapers, no online stuff. Okay, fair enough, let's do newspapers. So the first thing we tried was then scarcity, and that kind of worked a little bit, and only 17 units. Okay, excellent. Made a few sales, but still not quite enough. So we then tried basically what we do in our coaching program, the different angles, and I'll give you the one example that worked beautifully. Now basically we said, forget about this whole scarcity thing, forget about bonuses, forget about all the extras they're getting. Let's instead focus on a different angle, because people clearly didn't wake up in the morning and go, I want a special deal on this particular type of boiler. However, what they responded to was the ad that said, are you worried about carbon monoxide poisoning? ? And then a picture of a couple in the kitchen standing around a gas boiler. Right? Response rate through the roof. Guy was sold out. Thank you very much. That's all it took. Okay? So your stuff and the way it's typically sold is not on people's minds when they go on Facebook. But if you find the right angle where they go, yeah, that's really interesting, okay? So basically with this stuff, the special deal, you're simply interrupting them. That's not really what they wanted, But if you get them something where they go, oh, that's interesting, a little aha moment, well, that's much better. And I'll show you one specific way where you can do this today, if you like, okay? First of all, the first thing you want to do is make it easy and super fast to consume, right? So they can convince themselves very, very quickly that this is good for them and you are trustworthy. again, this is based on personal experience, okay? I have put out videos that run for like 40 minutes and people loved it, absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, when I say people, that was the ones who sat through it. And the ones who sat through it, well, maybe 5%. Okay, the rest dropped off after 3 minutes. I went, all right, okay, this isn't for me. So if you're losing 97, 95% of traffic just because your thing is too big, and when I say they dropped off, it's not because it wasn't relevant. You know, a lot of people absolutely love the stuff. This was in the productivity arena. A lot of people online wanted it. They loved it. However, when you're faced with a 40-minute video, you're going, oh, I'll do that later. And we all know what happens when you say, I'll do that later. Yeah, it never happens. So no one is ready to commit the 40 minutes, the 90 minutes of your time. So whatever you're putting out, make it super easy, super fast to consume. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. All right. So here's my absolute favorite. As the front end, as the first thing they're seeing, give them a tool or tip or resource. Let's look at the productivity area, okay? Here are the top 3 productivity tools you can use on your computer or in your kitchen or in your car, whatever, that, you know, double your productivity in 12 days, something like that. Something like that, okay? Just a very simple list. Now that is a lot less scary than having to develop a product, and I kind of should have put product in quotes. Most people, when they think about lead magnets, they think, oh, I'm going to have to put together a report or a video or, you know, anything like that. You don't have to, okay? With a little here is a tool, tip, or resource, you can put that together in 15 minutes. All right? So then as a next step, well, on your maybe thank you page, you can give them a template or step-by-step process. Now pay attention to this. This is based on years and years of experience, what I'm showing you here, so you might be flying through this. This page here is absolute gold if you pay attention to it, okay? In general, this is roughly how the sort of desire and interest flow goes. At the front, I've got a very easy to consume little piece of information, or, you know, something that is useful for me. I get that in and I go, ooh, I can trust this person, I'd like to know more. Now the second thing you add then is a template or step-by-step process. Do not underestimate the step-by-step or template, okay? A lot of people who are facing a new problem are basically staring at a blank page and they're going, how the heck do I do this? And there is nothing more comforting than someone holding your hand and saying, let's do this. Now let's do this. Now let's do this. All right. So that would be number 2. And you'll get a lot of people going, oh, yes, I want that too. Then once you've got the template, people go, well, but I kind of need to apply that to my own circumstances. Okay, I might not be into candle making. I might be into whatever, wax, rocket making. Okay, so then you do a look over the shoulder case study. This is how I do it. This is how I've applied it to this, or this is how I've applied it to this. And the very important thing is with all of this, there is actually more value in failures than in successes, because in general, as I've told you earlier, the real gold is in testing your way to success. Okay, and testing your way to success basically means discarding all the stuff that doesn't work, all the failures. Okay, so if you can tell someone what not to do, that's huge, because the not to do stuff is actually 90% of the learning curve, if not more. So look over the shoulder case study. Do not be tempted to, or do not be sucked into the belief that, hey, you look so much better if everything succeeds. No, on the contrary. Yeah, you're doing yourself and your customers, your prospects, a much bigger favor by saying, this is the stuff that didn't work. And look, what I've done today here is a precise example of exactly this. I've told you all the stuff that didn't work for me and why it didn't work. Okay, SEO didn't work. Doing empires doesn't work. And I gave you the reasons why. So that is why, you know, look over the shoulder case study is so powerful when you include those negative examples. And then the third step would be let's just go deeper with this. The psychology behind, you know, my look over the shoulder case study. Why am I doing certain things? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? This here, you can apply almost anywhere in any marketing thing. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, but this, first of all, looks like a lot of work, and I don't have the expertise to do maybe you have the expertise to do a tool or tip or resource, but a template, look over the shoulder, definitely not. And psychology, hey, man, I have no idea. Well, the beauty is you don't have to do any of that. You can outsource it all for next to nothing and get the highest quality possible. Okay, are you excited? Well, I've got a 150k leads in 3-day story for you another day, but I'll give you a hint right now. Okay, there are experts out there you can interview for free, and you'll have all the content on the previous page in an hour. Okay, you just basically send them an email, and I've done this when I was absolutely nobody in the internet marketing space, and to this day, even in any market, you could go into any market, send someone an email, sometimes it's their publicist, and say, look, I'd like to do an interview, here are the questions, would you be interested? Some will say no, that's part of the game. And then you build human relationships. Sometimes you have to use judgment, and you go, right, here's someone I can approach cold, here's someone I need to approach with a bit more caution, build that human relationship first, and then ask for the interview. Alrighty. Okay, step number 5, and we're nearly done, is let's not go broke page. Because what I showed you earlier is basically I'm using paid traffic. So I'm using paid traffic to do the like campaign. I'm using then later on paid traffic to do the ads, because it is fully controllable and I can very quickly test, something I can't do with SEO. So let's not go broke. Well, you need a self-liquidating offer, something that pays for your traffic. Well, that's probably not Amazon, unless you're selling diamond rings or high-end stuff that costs hundreds of dollars. You're not getting enough of a commission to pay for the clicks. I mean, I'll see if I can get you a case study where we can get really cheap clicks in a like campaign. But then, of course, you need to still pay for it. Ultimately, you're ending up with a subscriber value somewhere between. I mean, you can get it down to 50 cents. We have subscribers for $1, but we also have subscribers for where we pay $10 per subscriber now. That needs to be paid for. So you need to kind of have a self-liquidating offer, and for that, Amazon is probably not the ideal thing. So you want to have something else. Now, there's a reason why an additional reason is that you have additional commitment. People are going, all right, I'm genuinely interested. Now I want to take this further. And of course, please refer back to that page I showed you earlier, the 4 steps. The tip and resource thing at the front end, and then the template. That could be, and probably should be, your self-liquidating offer, if it's not the next one up, the case study or the deeper psychology. It gives additional commitment. Here you are now identifying the true buyers, those who are truly interested, and you're weeding out those who are going, well, I was kind of bored, and I was bored with looking at kitties, so I clicked on your ad. All of this is, of course, aimed once again at one thing, namely convince themselves that you can be trusted, that you probably should be uppercase, that you can be trusted, and that you can be trusted to help them solve their problem. And of course, the self-liquidating offer page has an additional purpose, and that is basically you put your conversion and retargeting pixel on there. These are, until I did it, it's one of those things, it's totally bizarre. This whole online marketing thing, a lot of the things I knew I got intellectually, and I see this in so many coaching students, they get it intellectually, but you really only get it once you do it. And you go, oh man, now I get it. Now it's like, oh, why didn't I do this years ago? For me, it was Facebook ads. Why did I wait years? Everyone else was doing it. I waited years. Why did I wait years building a list? Why did I wait so long for retargeting or with retargeting? The list goes on. Okay, so sometimes when you think, oh, this is too stupid simple, it can't possibly work, that's when you really should jump into it. All right. Anyway, so retargeting is where that's what you start on this page here. And then, of course, all you do is promote a post. And I'll give you some hints here based on thousands and thousands of dollars of ad spend. Of course, you create your post. My preference is Power Editor. Then you promote it, and initially you set it to clicks to website, manual CPC, which is a pain in the butt these days. They've just changed the Facebook ad interface again. So basically, there are 2 options for clicks to website, and I don't know what the second one is called, just clicks or something like that, and then you can enter your manual CPC. Otherwise, they're doing everything by CPM, cost per 1,000 these days. And then you leave that running until you have at least 30 conversions. Okay, the reason for this is I don't know what the real reason is. They kind of send you odd traffic when you're setting it for conversions right out of the gate. I don't know what it is, why they're doing it, but if you start with clicks to website, you tend to get better quality traffic, better quality statistics, because that's really what we're after, right? We need to test whether our idea has wings or legs, right? And in terms of targeting, there are so many options these days. It's beautiful. Always, if you can, layer interests and audiences. Use custom audiences. And the beauty with custom audiences is that you can create a lookalike custom audience. This is the trick I referred to earlier, from a conversion pixel. So what that means is this. Say you have an ad, a little mini funnel that says, here's a productivity tip. Here are the 5 tools for getting really productive. On your thank you page, you have a conversion pixel. Now you know those people who signed up, or now you have all those people who were interested enough to give you their email address. They're now in that conversion audience, if you like. You can then go and create a lookalike audience based on this conversion pixel. That's huge. Now, initially you just started, targeting anyone who's interested in productivity, for example, or in getting things done, or Stephen Covey. Fine, they all come to your page, but only a certain percentage of those, of course, will click on your ad. Well, first of all, a certain percentage will click on your ad. They're interested enough to click on your ad. And then a small percentage of those will be interested enough to sign up to your freebie. Right? Now you have all of those who are really, really, really interested in that custom audience. And now you build an audience just like them. That's absolutely enormous. It's beautiful. Okay. And of course, we've got the friends off. You target friends of a page. Do you remember we did the like campaign, right? We get people to like our page. So now when we target their friends, in their newsfeed shows up like earlier Lee and Amanda. That's why we do that kind of thing, okay? And then of course in step number 7 we do retargeting. This is the example I showed you earlier where we went from $14.44 per conversion, which still was very, very profitable to the tune of about $25, to 68 cents, which is profitable to the tune of over $40, right? So there was a little bit more optimization in between those two ads, I have to admit that, but all in all, you can see what you can achieve with a bit of optimization and retargeting. You go from $14.44 to 68 cents. Quite nice, eh? And, still 216 conversions. Alrighty, that's the entire process. Okay, it's not very complicated. There was a lot of text, a lot of words, if you like, but really, it's not that much. Okay, if we scroll back, scroll. Let's do a super quick recap. Okay, step number 1: get clarity on your objective. You really want to figure out: are you talking to people who are already in your funnel, or they're completely new? Then you do your market research, and don't sweat this, because at the end of the day, the only way to do it is test. So in market research, you're more collecting ideas you want to test, as opposed to overthinking, overanalyzing the truth, because there's no such thing. Then you do a little like campaign in order to get those likes to the page, to have the social proof, to have the micro commitment, and of course, looking back at the market research, figuring out if there's something that has legs. Then you create a lead magnet, and the beauty of this is you don't have to do it yourself. Okay, you just go here and basically outsource this whole lead magnet thing. Well, you can probably do the lead magnet thing yourself. You don't even spend an hour on doing something and then do a quick like campaign. And if no one likes your thing, well, cool, done. On to the next. Step number 5, you basically put a self-liquidating offer on there, and I've given you on the previous slide an idea of how to do that. Namely, you go to the template, or the look over my shoulder case study, or the deeper psychology, and then you promote that whole thing, and I've given you some tips there. And finally, you do some retargeting, and that's it. That is how you build a business asset. In all of this, of course, we're building a list. Okay, we're giving away a great freebie, we're getting people to sign up, and now you have built a business asset. The beauty of this is, like I said earlier, this is all about building an authority, but not an authority site. At no point in all of this do you need a site. You could do, you can get one-clicks, you could get lead pages, one of the various tools, you could get Profit Builder, any of the, well, Profit Builder requires your own site, but the other ones, you don't even need to have your own site. You could get ClickFunnels, stick a site together very, very quickly. You could even build the free, whatever, Wixia, whatever, these free tools for building, God, what they're called, Web Freely, whatever. Various free sites. Very, very quickly put together a landing page, test it with traffic, and thank you very much. So that's the first thing. You don't need your own site. You don't need to be the authority, because you can go and outsource this whole thing. Now, where was it? There we go. All right, you can outsource the entire thing, and you don't have to be at the center of all of this. Once you've got this all together, you can then drive traffic to Amazon all day long and use it as an AdSense, as something that is on the side, because that truly is the way the Amazon affiliate program should be used. Okay, you've got something that has traffic. There is a core business, if you like, that happens to have a lot of business, that happens to be interested in offers on Amazon. If at all possible, avoid building a made-for-Amazon affiliate site. Okay, you are basically by default, by design, doomed. And that's what I've outlined in the beginning. It's like, there are so many reasons why really the odds are stacked against you when you build a made-for-Amazon site. It's just not a good business model. So this model here is much, much better. You're building a business asset. You're building a list. You're doing it in a way that avoids all overwhelm, because you're doing super quick and cheap testing. You're avoiding all procrastination, overwhelm, over-analysis, because you're doing away with all the stupid market research. There's very little upfront investment. All you're doing is basically putting together like a $10, $15 budget on Facebook ads. And, let me ask you this. How much have you spent on courses in the last year? We're coming up to the end of 2014. How much money have you spent on courses just this year? Can you afford $10 to spend on Facebook ads? Okay, the stuff you're seeing in front of you here, all of this was profitable very, very, very quickly. And basically that means the money flows into my PayPal account before Facebook ever takes it out. Okay, I don't even touch the money. I'm never in the red. There's more money flowing into my PayPal account than there's ever being taken out by Facebook. Plus, I get, whatever it is, $750 credit from Facebook. So, they take it out after a $750 chunk. So, if I don't use it up all in once, I even have a few days of playing with money. So, what's next? What we've got is a secret coaching planning worksheet. It's basically reserved normally for our coaching students, but I'll make that as available as a sort of, apology for the blown up GoToWebinar thing. And I'll send it out this week. It'll help you with step number 1, clarity, not necessarily around the exact funnel you're going to set up, but the clarity about what you're trying to achieve and what you need to do in terms of traffic. Okay, this whole thing is basically built around traffic. The entire presentation today was about traffic. The model I've shown you, the authority model, without being an authority, the authority minus the guru bullshit angle model, is all based around traffic and testing very quickly if that is profitable traffic or not, and then basically cutting the losers and doing more of the good stuff. And once you've got that, this coaching planning worksheet is going to help you kind of set some goals, objectives, and plan out your entire campaign to get profitable and achieve your financial goals very, very quickly. And then what we're going to do is a live case study of the system. And when I say live, it is fingers crossed live. Hopefully we'll get GoToWebinar going. Otherwise, we're going to have to do a hangout. Alrighty. That's it. That's the end. If you have any questions, do send them over. You know where the support desk is. You have my email. Just reply to any of my emails and I'll get back to you. Alrighty. Cheers. Bye.